Hi everybody, welcome back to Educator.com for Sibelius tutorial. In this lesson, we will talk about a couple of other features of the ribbon as far as navigating besides the mouse. Basically, this is going to be a short edition of the previous chapter. If you remember, we talked about the ribbon a little in detail in the previous chapter. We will learn about how to navigate through the ribbon by the key tips. We also will talk about a few basic navigation options in the end of the lesson. Key tips. There is one other way that we have to access in the ribbon besides the mouse. You can navigate through the ribbon using your shortcuts called key tips. You will need to hold down the Control key on Mac and Alt key on PC to be able to get the key tips. Before we do that, I'd like to give you a little bit information about it. Then we're going to do the entire visual thing. Usually we can get an access by very first letter or two of the tab as soon as we press the Control on Mac and Alt key on PC. You will need to type the letter or the letters that you see right over the tabs to access that tab. Once you make a selection, Sibelius will navigate through the tab and then it will show you the key tips of the features under that specific tab. You could either toggle through the feature by typing the key tips, or there are some cases you may get a drop-down menu of that feature itself. If that's the case, you could use your arrow keys to go in between the options. So basically, let's get the visuals here to understand better. Of course, we are here on the Macintosh system, so what we're going to be using is the Control key to get the key tips. So when you press the Control, you see certain letters. That's what we're talking about here when we say key tips. So basically, we have letter F for file, we have letter H for home, I for note input, N for notations tab, T for text tab, PL, double letter here the first time, for the play, for any kind of playback and related options under this tab, as you know. Then letter L for layout, A for appearance, PA for the parts, R for review, and finally V for view. So if you select these, and then if you want to get out of the key tips, basically you simply press on Escape key and get back to it, Control again, on Macintosh systems. So if you wanted to go each tab here, you can follow up, of course. F for file, so we have a file menu. So when we go under a certain tab like this one, file, we have other letters here. S for save, A for save as, N for new, O for open, and we can access any of these. Let's say if we wanted to go to the preferences, another F here will take us through the preferences. So in a way, that's a quick way of accessing here. We can escape out here too. Basically, only thing, if you start using key tips more and more, instead of going to the file by the mouse and scroll all the way down for preferences, you could also get to it by Control F. Quick way to open the preferences, for instance. And that can apply as soon as you start notating input notes or editing your scores, whatever the functions you use often, that can be very handy to go along by the key tips. Let's press on Control again, H for the home tab, and you see all the shortcuts. For instance, adding a note is AB, deleting a note DB. This would be very helpful for also people out there are very fast with the keyboards and keyboard shortcuts.